Prime Minister Pushpa Dahal is currently on a trip to the U.S. where he is scheduled to address the UN General Assembly on 21st of September. The Prime Minister is seeking for the international community's support to conclude the peace process. News reports also suggest that the Premier might face queries on Nepal's transitional justice. On this regard, analysts feel that Prime Minister Dahal's ongoing tour to the U.S. could prove a litmus test in his drive to conclude the peace process back home. Good evening, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha and these are the headlines of the hour. Inflation spirals out of control in the first month of the new fiscal year. Food essentials and spices record highest 7.5% increase. The District Attorney Office registers case at the Kathmandu District Court against 29 defendants. Investigations continue against 15 on-the-run alleged culprits. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un returns home after wrapping up his Russia trip. Kim's meeting with Russian President Putin causes global concerns. And India lift the Asia Cup as they thumped Sri Lanka by 10 wickets in an agonizingly one-sided title clash. Sri Lanka humiliated, being bowled out for 50 runs. Even as the Nepal Rashtra Bank had mentioned in its monetary policy to keep inflation within 6.5%, inflation has increased by 7.52% in the Nepali calendar month of Shravan, the first month of the new fiscal year, which is between mid-July and mid-August. The price of spices has increased the most by 45.56%, while there has been 13.2% increase in food grains. In the report made public today by the Nepal Rashtra Bank regarding the country's financial situation, the prices of dairy products and eggs have gone up by 12.19%. Likewise, inflation in the restaurant and hotel sector is at 11.05%, while the price of vegetables has increased by 10.8%. However, the price of ghee and oil has gone down by 15.13%. According to the central bank's report, inflation in the education sector is at 9.1%, while prices of domestic appliances have gone up by 6.79%. Likewise, inflation in the health sector is at 5.13%. Meanwhile, earning has not increased in proportion to inflation. The Nepal Rashtra Bank's report states that salaries have increased by 1.05% and wages have gone up by 6.67%. 10 billion rupees has gone out of the country during mid-July to mid-August due to students going abroad for studies, which is 3 billion rupees more compared to the same period last year. However, remittance has increased by 25.8% to reach 116.02 billion rupees. According to the Nepal Rashtra Bank, the balance of payment has a deposit of 32.9 billion rupees. The balance of payment during the same period last year was at 19.76 billion rupees. Meanwhile, the government has 208.93 billion rupees in reserve. In mid-July, 2 months ago, the government reserve was at 71.98 billion rupees. Between mid-July and mid-August, the average interest rate on deposits at commercial banks was at 8%, which during the same period last year was at 7.64%. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before that, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we had asked you, why has the public been deprived of easy access to free medicines provisioned by the government? 68% voted for A, procedural hassles, 18% voted for B, lack of budget, and 14% voted for C, lack of awareness. And here's today's question. What should be done to control inflation? Your options are A, policy level changes, B, prioritize production, and C, strict monitoring. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. The District Government Attorney Office has filed a case at the Kathmandu District Court today, making 29 alleged culprits as defendants in the 60-kilogram gold smuggling scandal. As per the report submitted by the CIB team of Nepal Police, the District Government Attorney Office has filed the case under 5 counts, seeking custody and fine. The case has been filed against 9 foreign nationals, including Dawa Chiring and Thupten Chiring, both of Chinese origin, and 20 Nepali nationals. The Public Prosecutor's Office has charged all the defendants under organized crime, along with smuggling charges on 9 foreign nationals. Likewise, custody and fine have been sought against Chinese nationals who are also involved in the cryptocurrency transactions. Meanwhile, the Government Attorney Office has not filed any case against alleged culprits Pushpa Joshi, Kamal Pariyar, Sridhar Tandon, Rajan Kumar Shrestha, Ashok Lama and Naresh Tamang, which is against CIB recommendation. As the CIB has claimed of 362 kilograms of smuggled gold, a fine of 3.5 billion rupees has been sought from the defendants. The protesting doctors have called off their strike after the Nepal Medical Association and the government talks team reached a 6-point agreement today. The strike was called off after the discussion held at the Ministry of Health today between the Nepal Medical Association and the government talks team reached a 6-point agreement which included arresting all those who beat the 2 doctors at Sancho Hospital in Hetauda last Wednesday and taking action against them. 4 individuals who beat the doctors have already been arrested by police. After the Nepal Medical Association halted all health services today in government and private health institutions, hospitals, medical colleges, as well as clinics, except for emergency services, in protest of the beating of the 2 doctors, a 5-member talks team under the leadership of the Health Ministry's Additional Secretary Dr. Bikas Devkota held talks with the association and reached the 6-point agreement. In our Public Voice segment today, we have asked people in several provinces what their take is on halting very essential services by resorting to protests. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
विकल्पहरु छ कुन बाटोमा जाने तर बिरामीहरुलाई दुःख दिएर बन्द गर्न चाहिँ बिल्कुल ठीक होइन
उहाँहरुको प्यारेन्ट्स उहाँहरुका दिदीबहिनी दाजुभाइहरु उपचार गर्नको लागि आए भने पनि या बन्द भनेर पठाइयो भने के हुन्छ होला यहाँ मात्रै छैन हस्पिटल सबैतिर यसरी उत्रिनु भएको छ हैन अन्त पनि त्यसरी जानु भएर फर्किनु परिरहेको अवस्थामा के हुन्छ होला त्यो चाहिँ उहाँहरुले सोच्नु पर्यो के
जो मर्न लागेको बिरामी बचाउँछ उही माथि हातपात भयो भने त फेरि यो राम्रो काम त भएन यसको विरोध गर्नु राम्रो छ तर विरोध गर्ने फेरि बहानामा यतातिर फेरि असंख्य पब्लिकहरुको पीडा त बेग्लै छ नि फेरि
उपचार पाइएन त्यहाँ गएर चेक गर्दैन भोलि गएर त्यो मान्छेको मृत्यु भयो भने त्यसको जिम्मेवार पनि त त्यही हडताल गर्ने मान्छेहरुले पनि त लिनुपर्छ
डाक्टरले आफ्नो मूल्य र मान्यता आफ्नो दायित्व चाहिँ कर्तव्य बिर्सनु भएन र सरकारले पनि अलिकति स्वास्थ्य कर्मीलाई त्यस्तो भएपछि अलि सुरक्षाको चाहिँ अलि प्रबन्ध नि गर्नुपर्ने भयो के
अप्ठ्यारोहरु पर्छन् तर बसेर वार्ता गरेर हैन एउटा टेबल टक गरेर त्यसबाट एउटा निकास निकाल्न पर्छ
कानुन अनुसार अगाडि बढ्नु पर्यो यसरी अत्यावश्यक सेवा बन्द गर्न चाहिँ भएन
आफ्नो आवाज बुलन्द पार्न सुनाउन उहाँहरुले यो भन्दा अरु फरक किसिम पनि त हुन्छन् होला नि त ती किसिमहरु अपनाउनु म चाहिँ उपयुक्त ठान्छु
फेरि टाढाको मान्छे गाउँको मान्छे पनि बिरामी पर्दा कता जान्छ उनीहरुको जीवनको सवाल हुन्छ नि
यसरी बन्द नगरिकन बरु सम्झौतामा हैन त्यसरी चाहिँ यो गरे भए राम्रो हुन्थ्यो
जबसम्म आन्दोलन गर्दैन तबसम्म मागको सम्बोधनै नगर्ने जुनसुकै कुरामा होस् अनि त्यही भएर नै अब आन्दोलन गरिसकेपछि चाहिँ मागको सम्बोधन हुन्छ भन्ने भएर नै होला
Nepal police have arrested Sanjay Bhandari of Sindhupalchok in connection with the gruesome murder case on Friday night when 4 people were killed. The Kathmandu Valley Crime Division investigation held a press conference today to make the arrested culprit Sanjay Bhandari public. 3 of the same family, Purnabadur Bhujel, his wife Ambika Bhujel, mother Subhadra Bhujel and Bishal Rai were murdered last Friday night. The deceased Rai had thrashed the culprit Bhandari in a motorcycle accident-related case. Bhandari retaliated by murdering Rai and proceeded on to kill the other 3 who were eyewitnesses of the murder committed by Bhandari. Bhandari, a grade 12 student, has confessed the killing and has also informed about the non-involvement of any other individuals. The Pasupati Area Development Trust has said that all the preparations for the Tees Festival tomorrow have been completed. A large throng of devotees visit the temple of Pashupatinath to observe the annual festival of Tees. The trust has said that the temple doors will open from 3 a.m. in the morning to facilitate the devotees. Likewise, 2 health camps have also been set up, coordinated by Nepal Police and Armed Police Force. Security officials in plain clothes will also be deployed to prevent any untoward incidents. It's time now for the international update. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has received 5 explosive drones, a reconnaissance drone and a bulletproof vest as gifts from a regional governor on his visit to Russia. The North Korean leader met the Russian defense minister in Vladivostok, where he inspected state-of-the-art weapons, including a hypersonic missile system yesterday. Russian media reported today that the train with the North Korean leader left the railway station in the Russian far eastern city of Artyom, wrapping up his visit to Russia. Kim's first official visit abroad since the coronavirus pandemic has fanned Western fears that Moscow and Pyongyang would defy sanctions and strike an arms deal. His extended tour of Russia's far eastern region, which began on Tuesday, focused extensively on military matters, as evidenced by his own officer-dominated entourage, a symbolic exchange of rifles with Russian President Vladimir Putin, and a tour of a fighter jet factory in Komsomolsk-on-Amur. Moscow is believed to be interested in buying North Korean ammunition to continue fighting in Ukraine, while Pyongyang wants Russia's help to develop its internationally condemned missile program. The Kremlin has said no agreement was signed. North Korean news agency KCNA described the atmosphere during Kim's visit as fervent and warm and said a new era of friendship, solidarity and cooperation was opening between North Korea and Russia.
Sports news.
India have won the Asia Cup by 10 wickets as they bowled out Sri Lanka for 50 runs in the final of the Asia Cup in Colombo earlier today. Electing to bat first at Colombo's Premadasa Stadium, the Lankan batters proved no match to the pace and swing of Indian bowlers. Mohammad Siraj was the destroyer-in-chief with a haul of 6 wickets. Hardik Pandya claimed 3 wickets while Jasprit Bumrah picked 1 wicket. Siraj claimed 4 wickets in 1 single over to break the back of the Lankan batting. This was the lowest total scored by Sri Lanka against India and their second lowest overall, as they were bowled out for 43 runs against South Africa in 2012. Kushal Mendis top scored with 17 runs, while Dusmant Hemantha was the only other batter to touch the double figure in an otherwise humiliating batting display that lasted 15.2 overs. In reply, India raced to the victory target without losing a single wicket. Shubman Gill and Ishan Kishan put on the required 51 runs for victory in 6.1 overs. Indian spinner Kuldeep Yadav was adjudged the player of the tournament. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.